Yes, I've read the bill, the Restrict Act. It is overreaching, it is overbroad, and it clearly violates our First Amendment rights. The reason that they have structured it in terms of threats to national security is so that they could get beyond our challenges to the constitutionality of the bill. We know that we have First Amendment rights. There are exceptions to the First Amendment, and those are listed up here, but that's not what we're dealing with here. And when the First Amendment is violated, it's violated by our government's restrictions on speech, not the platform's restrictions on speech. So, like if TikTok is censoring us for one reason or another, that's different. They're a private entity. But if our own government is censoring us, that's what gets taken up through the federal court system. And I suspect that if the law goes through, it will eventually end up at the Supreme Court. So in that instance, if they do an interpretation of this law, which it's a terrible bill, it's a terrible bill, and it was designed to restrict speech. No bones about it. But if that goes to the point of interpretation by the Supreme Court, there is just no way that this can withstand a constitutionality argument. I'd like to take it one step further and say that if our government imposes certain censorship requirements on TikTok, certain updates to their guidelines, their community guidelines, which we have seen, and I suspect that that did come from our government as an attempt to compromise and keep the app going. But if that happens in that instance, then the government is in essence violating our First Amendment rights. So this is something that we need to watch as it develops and unfolds. Our world is not going to end if TikTok ends, but what happens is once this is restricted, this bill wants to restrict everything. You know, they want footage from our Ring cameras, and they want footage from any camera in our house. They want access to the internet, and they want to be able to restrict the internet. It is insane. So it's not just about TikTok, even though this is a good starting place and a good forum to discuss it. We need to remember that. I've heard that a lot. It's not just about TikTok. I know it's not just about TikTok, but this is the place they're starting, and it is not where they will end up.